When starting Overwatch, you may be surprised the amount of heroes there are in the game. And when it comes to choosing which hero fits you the best, it feels like you have to manually try every single hero until you find one that eventually works. But I have a solution. I'll be going through different categories to help you find which heroes will help you win more games, and which ones fit your playstyle as well. First, I'll be going through the 3 hero roles and helping you choose which one to play based off of your current gaming skills. Then I'll be talking about the different playstyles that the heroes fit into so you can find one that matches your own. So let's get into the first one, determining your role. Within gaming, there exists 3 specific skill categories: deciphering, execution, and strategy. When it comes to Overwatch, all 3 of them matter, and knowing which ones you are best at will help you find which role and then which character you prefer to play. Each role in Overwatch utilizes one of these specific areas the most. Tank utilizes deciphering the most, damage utilizes execution the most, and support utilizes strategy the most. So before we start picking which hero is right for you, let's start out with finding out which role fits your strengths. So first, let's start with tank. You've heard me say a few times that tank requires the ability to decipher, but what does that mean exactly? What I mean by that is your ability to memorize and keep track of enemy locations, what abilities are off cooldown, and predicting the enemy's next move. Since as a tank you are the frontliner and the bullet sponge, all of the enemy's abilities will be used against you first before they are used against your teammates. So things like knowing how likely it is that the enemy tank will use ult, or where potential enemy flankers are, is crucial. For example, you have Junker Queen. Her ultimate has her dash through enemies, dealing damage and preventing them from being able to heal. But there are characters who can mitigate her ultimate. So a Junker Queen player has to keep track of whether or not those abilities are on cooldown, so that they can use Junker Queen's ultimate and get value out of it without being interrupted by other abilities. So if you lean more towards deciphering the enemy's next play and thinking quick on your feet, then tank might be the role you are looking for. Next up, we have damage. Damage requires execution, the ability to out-aim and outmaneuver your opponents. It's a role that tends to get more kills, which obviously requires the ability to out-aim opponents with well-timed inputs and reaction times. Damage heroes rely much more on their weapons and their abilities, especially compared to support heroes, making this role very conceptually simple. You have characters like Cassidy with a high damage revolver, along with a roll that reloads his gun and an ultimate that gives him auto-aim for a few seconds. Pretty much his whole kit revolves around his weapon. You could actually just only use his gun and still get great value out of his character. When it comes to damage, good aim and good movement are the bulk of what is needed to be good at it. So if you lean towards execution and outplaying the enemy, then damage might be the role you are looking for. Lastly, we have support. Support requires strategy, the ability to position correctly and to use your abilities at correct times that'll give your team the advantage. This role focuses on empowering your teammates to get kills and keeping them alive, hence the name. Supports have a low killing potential compared to the other roles and tend to be weak to flankers, so they have to strategize in order to stay alive. One of the support heroes that requires a lot of strategy is Lucio. His main gimmick is his music that has 2 modes. He can give himself and his nearby team either a speed boost or healing, so he has to constantly manage his positioning and ability usage so that he can properly speed boost the teammates who need it and also constantly heal the teammates that need it as well. So if you lean more towards strategy and focusing on ability usage, then support might be the role you are looking for. Now that I've shown you the 3 roles and told you which skills are better suited to play them, I'll be sorting the different heroes into the playstyles needed to play them. Aggressive, semi-aggressive, and passive. Every player has different tempos that they prefer to play at, which is why I chose these categories. The 3 categories don't translate the exact same across the 3 roles, but generally, aggressive style heroes are heroes that enable a fast-paced, usually close-range fighting style. Semi-aggressive style heroes are heroes that enable both a fast and slow-paced fighting style and work at different ranges. And passive style heroes are heroes that enable a slow and long-range fighting style. So let's start off with tanks. Passive tanks are tanks who play slow and have massive amounts of damage and damage mitigation. The tanks in this category are Domina and Sigma, who focus on playing behind their shields and pressuring enemies from afar, rather than brawling up close. These tanks are best at holding positions and preventing the enemy from getting anywhere near them, but if the enemy breaks through their defense, it will be tough to push them back out again. They prefer to play the slow, long-range game rather than the fast-paced, short-range game. Semi-aggressive tanks are tanks who can play the slow game when needed, but have abilities that allow them to play fast and get in the enemy's face as well. The tanks in this category are Roadhog, Ramattra, Orisa, and Zarya. These tanks can prevent the enemy from advancing onto their position, and if the enemy wants to rush them, they can also meet their tempo and push back when needed. Aggressive tanks are tanks who struggle to play the slow game, but thrive in close-range, fast-paced fights. The tanks in this category are D.Va, Doomfist, Hazard, Junker Queen, Mauga, Reinhardt, Winston, and Wrecking Ball. These tanks prefer to close the distance and rush or pounce onto the enemy in fast-paced style fights, and struggle at long ranges where the enemy can slowly drain their resources from afar. Now, let's move on to damage. Passive damage heroes are heroes who prefer long-range fights where they can pick off and pressure enemies with slower and more precise gameplay. The heroes in this category are Ashe, Bastion, Emre, Hanzo, Mei, Torbjorn, and Widowmaker. These heroes excel at controlling spaces and angles and preventing the enemy from being able to step foot into certain areas. They all struggle at close ranges except for Mei. Semi-aggressive damage heroes are heroes who can fight at varying ranges and focus on aggressive positioning, but still have slower weapon usage to pressure the enemy. These heroes in this category are Cassidy, Freya, Junkrat, Pharah, Reaper, Sierra, Sojourn, Soldier 76, and Symmetra. These heroes have abilities that allow them to aggressively move positions, but still have slower gunplay compared to the other damage heroes, and typically play at mid-range and focus on playing off angles. Aggressive damage heroes are heroes who prefer all-in fast-paced, close to mid-range fights rather than slow, long-range fights. The heroes in this category are Xion, Onran, Echo, Genji, Sombra, Tracer, Vendetta, and Venture. These heroes have extremely aggressive playstyles that have them dump all their abilities into one target with aggressive gameplay in close-range fights, and struggle against drawn-out long-range fights. Now, let's move on to support. Passive support heroes are the heroes that play from long ranges and focus almost completely on supporting teammates or chipping away at enemies from a distance. The heroes in this category are Ana, Baptiste, Iliari, Lifeweaver, Mercy, Wuyang, and Zenyatta. These heroes prefer to sit in the backline and support teammates from a distance and help chip away at enemies from a distance as well. Semi-aggressive support heroes are heroes that play from mid-range and have an equal amount of focus on healing and damage. The heroes in this category are Kiriko and Moira. These heroes can join their team in a close to mid-range fight but have the ability to back out of it when needed. Aggressive support heroes are heroes that play at very fast paces from mid to close ranges and focus on juggling utility and damage while typically having less healing than some of the other heroes. The heroes in this category are Brigitte, Jetpack Cat, Juno, Lucio, and Mizuki. These heroes involve a lot of action, primarily through using and playing off of their utility focus abilities to support the team. Definitely make sure to go back through the video if there's anything that you feel like you missed. There should be chapters in the video, but if not, timestamps will also be in the description. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to comment them down below and I'll try my best to answer them. Thank you all for watching, and have fun.